Hello, I'm Elizabeth. I'm with Firecracker and this is the Bitless Horse Training Project. So now in this video I'm going to introduce Firecracker to having me on the mounting block. Now I know he's worried about standing next to me when I'm on the mounting block, so I'm going to do some circling. He's going to do some circling and I'm going to stand on the mounting block. Now, the reason I do this is A, I get him used to me standing on the mounting block, and B, it stops me moving too much. So I ask him to go on the circle, and I want him to bend towards me, looking at me out of his inside, i.e. left eye. So I'm asking him to come in towards me to help me do this. So I'm going to ask him to go on a circle again. First of all, I'm going to ask him to go backwards. Then I'm going to lead with my right hand. Keep the rope slack. I don't want him to bump into the rope on his nose. So when I ask him to come in, I look at his hindquarters, I bend my body towards his hindquarters, and I ask him to stop. So the reason why I make this go backwards, go out on the circle, turn your hindquarters and come back in, the reason why I make that quickly is because that's how I get him to start to look at me on the circle and pay more attention. So I point in the direction I want him to go with my hand, and I use the stick to ask him. Now I don't touch him with the stick. And here again I'm asking him to turn, which he's a little bit better at. I'm asking him to turn his hindquarters a tiny bit more, so he's facing me rather than to the side. So now I'm asking him to go backwards again. I lead the direction with my left hand and I use the stick in my right hand just to ask him to go. So I'm patient, I just keep asking. He's looking in another direction. And I ask him to go backwards a bit more. So now I'm a bit firmer with the stick because he's ignoring me, but I still don't touch him and I keep the rope slack. So the more difficult it is for you to send them out, the more quickly you should bring them in. So he's not really attuned to me at all. I need to improve my relationship with him so that he's more connected with me, so that I can ask him to go backwards out on the circle and come back in again without having to ask more than once or twice. So I'm on the mounting block because he's worried about standing next to me when I'm on the mounting block. So I want him to get a bit more used to me being up higher and on this, since I want to use it to get on him later. It helps me stand in one place so I don't move too much. I'm keeping the rope slack. When I want him to turn his hindquarters and come back to me, I'm using the same movement that I did on the ground. So I don't want him to just stop by the side of me. I want him to actually turn and face me when I bring him back in, which is why I'm being a bit specific with him turning his hindquarters a bit more. So here I am giving him a little break. I want him to relax, and see there he's lowering his head a little bit. That's the end of the session for now. I'm pleased that he's able to go out on the circle and come in when I ask him to. I'd like him to connect with me more, lower his head and relax when he's standing still. I hope you join me soon for more training Firecracker videos.